Renata, and you can join me and my special guests every Tuesday from 12:15 to 1 p.m. as we touch on issues that impact women of all ages, from knowing your worth and identity in Christ, fostering godly relationships, beauty, fashion, maintaining a healthy lifestyle, and more. And of course, we bring a biblical perspective to every discussion.
It's Woman of Promise, the Grand Reset, every Tuesday from 12:15 to 1 p.m. on Isaac 98.1 FM. Sponsored by Furniture Plus.
To Women of Promise. I'm Renata, Singh, and I'm joined by Denise Hernandez. Now, I know that it's the last Tuesday of the month of Vanessa. Supposed to be here, but unfortunately, she's a bit under the weather. Vanessa, if you're listening, we hope you have a speedy recovery.
Yes, we do.
Virus and this dust.
Yes, and you have to be sure to take your vitamins and all these things and rest up. So we really hope, wish you a speedy recovery, Vanessa.
Absolutely. And those of you that are probably under the weather right now, ginger is a wonder worker. I was a bit under the weather earlier this month, and the sun. Ginger tea. It's not the best tasting thing, eh?
Really?
Well, for me, yeah. I feel like it's an acquired taste, to be honest.
Yeah,
but
don't make it too strong.
Yeah. But I mean, strong is good.
Yeah,
Strong,
well,
it gets the job done.
Yes.
But thank you so much, Denise, for joining me today.
You're
We're
welcome.
going to be talking about the power of healthy communication, and I love that word healthy. I'm so glad that it was not just the power of what good communication looks like, but what healthy communication looks like, because there's a very big difference. We could communicate in unhealthy ways, and let's be real, we do that sometimes. Even with all the knowledge and experience, we do that sometimes. And so I think we can just start off kind of just very with the foundation. What is healthy communication?
Healthy communication is actively listening, not just to respond, but to understand.
Yeah.
There are times when one has to understand or know, in terms of whether it's two persons or one or more, when one's speaking, the other has to pay attention.
Yes.
Two persons cannot speak at the same time, then we're going to have a whole bunch of noise. So actively listening, not to respond, because sometimes when we hear the other person speaking, we already have a response in mind.
Yeah.
But you understand what they're saying first, and then you respond.
Yeah, absolutely. Communication is layered, and yes, part of it is being able to articulate
Yes.
properly and with clarity, but also listening is a huge part of
Yeah.
communication. Sometimes a part that we don't often talk about enough.
That's
And
right.
in fact, I would argue, this is my own personal opinion, so don't come for me, guys. I think that is one of the most important parts of communication, because if you can't listen, you aren't able to process and
And
understand.
understand. That's
And
right.
without understanding, I mean, our response may not be the best,
Yeah,
right?
and you make assumptions and all these things. So yeah, you have to listen and really pay attention. There might be different views based on
Absolutely.
a conversation, and that's fine. But we can agree to disagree,
Yeah.
and that's healthy as well
Yeah.
because we would not always agree on everything.
I remember years ago, well, talking like I'm so old, right? But a couple years ago, when I was younger, y'all, y'all laughing at me. Anyways, I remember communicating in different settings in school, at in the workplace, and you want to communicate in a way where you're trying to get this person to be on board with your point and see your point and run with your ideas, etc. And listen, that is one very exhausting.
Yes, yeah, yeah,
But I've grown to understand that healthy communication looks like, yes, here, yeah, the person hearing your point, but also being okay with them not changing their view.
yes, 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 and respecting the different views, and that's fine. That's
Yeah.
fine. I've seen where one of the things that I used to do, as you was explaining just now, you want to get your point across and you start over explaining.
Ooh, yeah,
That's very unhealthy.
100%.
You cannot force someone to believe what you believe,
Yeah.
and that's okay. But there must be a respect where our opinions are different, but I respect it, and that's okay. That is fine. It's perfectly okay. So
Yes.
yeah, over explaining can be very annoying.
Yeah,
Yeah, it could get somebody really
I think
annoyed.
I've shared this publicly before. I am a recovering over explainer. But I think addressing the roots of that is important.
Yes.
So most people don't just over explain.
Right.
They over explain. My reason for over explaining, after much deep searching, right? You just have to do reflections, right? It was because I was misunderstood a lot. And sometimes when you're misunderstood, you're trying to articulate a point, and people are just, they're hearing not what you are trying to say, but however they're interpreting
However,
it,
they
right?
that's right.
And sometimes that comes with, people process things with their own life experiences, etc.
That's right.
But also on my end, I had to kind of adjust and be like, okay, Renata, are you approaching this in terms of, communicating with clarity? Because you can't say something and not be clear on what you're
Yes,
saying. So I
yes.
had to make adjustments in that sense. But with regards to the over explaining, I had to address some deep issues within myself as well. Why am I over explaining? And so you're right. It can be annoying.
Yeah.
I would say in a relationship setting, a bit toxic too.
That's right. Yeah, that's the word I was going to
Yeah,
use.
and sometimes you over love or care about a particular person. You're like, oh my God, I need you to see
I
my
need-
points. Like,
Yeah.
why are you not listening or you're not seeing? But giving grace to persons who may be in a different space or season
right.
is so very important. Yes, communicate with love, communicate with respect. You use that word. But give people the grace.
That's right.
Not everybody
Yeah.
is in the same space that,
Yeah.
that we are in.
And just as how you would have shared where you learned and had to get to the root cause, we must also be in a place for where communication is concerned, being or understanding if a response comes back to you, it may not be what you want to hear,
Ooh.
but be in a mature place. Now that comes with growth.
Yeah.
But sometimes there are, and people would give you a response, not what you're, okay, I thought they were going to say this, or I thought they
Yeah.
were going to say that, or respond in this particular way. But be at a place to accept someone saying, well, okay, I don't agree, but, and then we can, they will probably give a little bit more explanation as to why they don't. But like I said before, you can agree to disagree, and there's nothing wrong with that. That's
There
fine.
is absolutely
there's
nothing wrong with that. In fact, that is sometimes healthy.
That's healthy, yeah.
Yeah, but in terms of listening, there are different types
Of
of listening.
That's
You
right.
mentioned active listening, which is listening with the intention of understanding before you respond.
Yeah.
But then there is passive listening, which
Yes.
is obviously hearing words without physically and mentally engaging or
Right.
providing feedback to the speaker. Listen, y'all, full disclosure.
Listen,
I have done this before.
no, and I too,
Like you kind of zone out, right?
but why, okay, so we're not going to say, well, why are you zoning out? For what reason?
Yeah.
You zone out because are you being told something that might be offensive? Are you zoning out because I would hope that it's not that you just don't care,
Yeah.
but you zone out because I would think maybe what they're saying is not what
You
really
want to hear.
want to hear. Or you're there sometimes, as you explain the passive listening, you're in this space and you're just looking at the person and not even a body language to say, well, okay, I'm responding with a smile but just like a blank face.
Yeah.
That can be met with, okay, what is this about? So let's go back to the word healthy. If you're in this passive communication or in this passive place, there are questions that will be asked to you. And hopefully, and I'm saying hopefully, that you are in a place to be like, okay, I really didn't think that I was. And sometimes people are passive for reasons as well.
Yeah, for me, one of the reasons was, and sometimes is y'all, I just have to literally be very deliberate when I get overstimulated.
Yes.
Whew, like
Yeah.
I have been in, and listen, when I get to that place, like you're here, you're listening, someone is talking, and you're trying your best to kind of pay attention, and your answer goes like, yeah, and then all of a sudden they ask a question, and you still, yeah. Listen. Y'all, I've been caught passive listening quite a lot, but I think it's important to know yourself, and like
Yes,
you're
yes.
mentioning the why you get to that place, what's causing you to kind of zone out is important, to pay attention to that so you could make adjustments.
Yeah, and sometimes it's also too where there are persons who may not realize that they are that way because it comes from being that way for so long.
Yep.
So when you bring it to them, they'll be like, really?
Because this is their norm,
That's
right?
the norm for you. But to maintain or, at least maybe establish now a healthier relationship, or if I present this to you, you'll be like, oh, I really I didn't think of that, or I
Yeah.
didn't know. And then it puts you now into maybe self-check to say, well, let's see what happens in another conversation, in another time. Accountability to yourself, because I've done it before where if somebody mentions something to me and another conversation comes up, maybe not with the same person, but in another space or another conversation, and I'm like, okay, I am now actively checking myself to not do the same thing.
Yeah.
And that's a measure of growth.
Yeah, but passive listening, y'all, is hurtful to
Yes,
the
it is, it
person
is, it
that's on the
other end. Yeah.
Listen, imagine somebody pouring their
Their
heart
heart
and
out.
soul out to you and you not listening. It's horrible.
But
Listen.
yeah.
We have to, like you said, self-check
Yeah.
and make the adjustments. If it is that, for example, for me, it's overstimulation or I can't multitask as well. So if I'm responding to a text, I can't hear somebody talking to me fully. So I'm like, okay, all right, I need to put the phone down perhaps and actually listen to you.
Yeah.
If you're having a conversation
Yeah.
with me, because
And
I'm not good at
yeah.
multitasking.
Really?
Yeah, not.
And I'm hoping even with the passive listener that they can come to a place where they're comfortable enough to share and maybe get a different view as to what can help the situation.
Yes.
Because you don't want to, or passive is one thing, but withholding and just kind of pulling back and drawing back and staying in that place. There comes a time where you would just have to maybe also say, well, I don't have a response right now, but check me back in 2 days, or I'll call you in 2 days, or we can discuss, so that the person can now say, well, all right, they don't have an answer right now, but
Yeah,
give me a little time.
Yeah, I think we are. Oftentimes, we put ourselves under this pressure that we have to respond
right
now.
away. Yeah.
And that that is not always
No, it's
best.
no, no.
Because you may, depending on the situation,
That's
you may
right.
not have all the information. Perhaps it's something that you maybe need to sit with a bit before you respond.
That's right.
Those are healthy ways to communicate. Just because you can't respond. Now, here's what not to do in a situation like that. Don't just shut the person down and just be like dismissive. Obviously, like Denise said, explain, hey, I hear you.
But
Give me some time, to probably sit with this, or if it says you need to get more information, it's something
Yes.
that, you don't have all the facts about. Yeah, communicate
come back.
that.
Communicate that.
So there is some sort of clarity. They know why you're taking time
That's
to
right.
respond,
Yeah.
not, that you didn't hear them or so. But there's another type of listening I want to touch on, and that's critical listening, which is analyzing.
wow.
Evaluating and judging the logic, quality, or intent of a message being delivered. Yeah, I'm going to go to the other one. It's empathetic listening, which is connecting
Which is-
emotionally
yes.
with the speaker to understand their perspective, feelings, and needs. I think healthy communication is really a blend of all these different
yes, it
types
is.
because they all have their place.
Yes, they do. Yes, they do. But there's always they have their place, but there's some extremes
Yes,
in
absolutely.
each one of them. Yeah, so there's always that balance of not going to the extreme of any one of them, because it really can be, as you mentioned before, hurtful and also received offensive.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Let's talk about selective listening, which is filtering the conversation only to process details that directly interest or apply to you. And then there is this next one, bias listening, hearing information through a personal filter, and twisting the facts to obviously confirm
come
existing
back to-
preconceptions.
yes.
That is dangerous.
It is. It is.
And it goes totally is the flip of what we were explaining to be healthy communication
That's right.
earlier,
Yeah.
which is the active listening. Listening to hear the other person, not just absorbing the information in a way that you kind of putting in your own experiences, etc. in.
That would have a little place in terms of, okay, not just putting in yourself, but sharing. There's nothing wrong to share.
Absolutely.
But making it all about you.
Yeah.
Coming back to this is how and this is how and everything is about me. And not listening to the other person, because just as how you want to be heard, so does the other person as
Yes.
well. So listening is not, you cannot be selfish.
Yeah.
I mean, if we want to talk about, even when we talk to God, and when we pray and we ask God questions, we expect Him, or we're hoping that He answers, and sometimes quick too, right?
Yeah.
There are times we have to wait a bit. But communication, where that is concerned, you don't really want to build on some negatives or things that would now pull a wedge between you and whomever, whether it's in a small setting or a larger setting. Of course, it will be dealt with differently, but you have to say something. I honestly believe in voicing your opinion respectively.
Yes.
Yes.
And even if it's something difficult, we'll talk about difficult conversations when we come back. We're going to go to a short break, guys. Don't go anywhere.
One, two, three, serve the king. We're all standing for the Almighty. 3 and 4, send no more. We're not gonna walk up on that path at all. Ladies, represent. Living right and your heaven sent. Book smart, Bible talk. Christ in your heart and you're living loud. My crew not gonna follow no crowd. Righteousness on fleek like crows. Sanctified and Jesus proud. So we heal him up. loud. Foundation in Christ not crack up. Consistency strong like black up. Jesus Christ is the highlight. If you're with me, shine your light bright. We are flawless, flawless in Jesus Christ. We are flawless, flawless in Jesus' eyes. It don't matter your skin color. It don't matter your hair texture. It don't matter who you are, 'cause we are flawless. Some of us, we struggle with beauty, insecure by the odd figurines. But perfection is not a factor, so we heal him up low. Self-love right now is the answer. Can't forget my natural sisters. No makeup, but pretty like flowers. Fancy the way that you are. We are flawless, flawless in Jesus Christ. We are flawless.
It's Total Local Tuesday on Isaac.
It don't matter your skin color. It don't matter your hair texture. It don't matter who you are, 'cause we are flawless.
Women of Promise is back. The Grand Reset with our new host, Renata Singh.
Hey, it's your girl Renata, and you can join me and my special guests every Tuesday from 12:15 to 1 p.m. as we touch on issues that impact women of all ages, from knowing your worth and identity in Christ, fostering godly relationships, beauty, fashion, maintaining a healthy lifestyle, and more. And of course, we bring a biblical perspective to every discussion.
It's Women of Promise, the Grand Reset, every Tuesday from 12:15 to 1 p.m. on Isaac 98.1 FM. Sponsored by Furniture Plus.
Welcome back to Women of Promise. If you're now joining us, we're talking healthy communication. I'm with Denise Hernandez.
All right, so Furniture Plus shoppers enjoy massive savings in store and online. Plus, earn Caribbean Airlines travel miles when you shop with us. Don't miss this chance to get more for less and make your dream vacation a reality. Shop at Furniture Plus today.
Now, before we went to break, we were talking a bit about navigating difficult conversations. A not so enjoyed part of communication. Let's put it that way.
No, it's not.
But necessary.
Yes,
it's
it
necessary for any healthy relationship.
Yep.
I don't know any healthy relationship that just goes smoothly. Like, it's inevitable to have, you are going to have differences.
Yes.
You are going to have things that you don't always see eye to eye on. And I'm talking about personally, professionally, regardless of what the relationship looks like. There may be friction at times.
Yes.
But the way we handle that friction and difference of opinion matters a lot. And it takes a certain level of maturity on our part.
That's right.
But it doesn't look much different than what we were discussing to be healthy communication earlier, which means, yes, communicating with clarity. So speaking, like you have something to say, speak and say that with clarity. Sometimes that requires, and this is something that has worked for me in the past, sometimes I need to sit and talk with somebody before I actually go to the person that I ain't
and
that I'm having the difficulty with. So,
and that's healthy.
And that's healthy.
That's
Sometimes when you
do.
get things off your chest, you're able to process what your feelings are in the moment, what you feeling too. Sometimes the person able to call you out on something.
That's right.
Because let's be real, sometimes we could be a little overboard. Sometimes us as women, we can be overboard, yeah? And I'm getting claps in the studio here from somebody that is not a woman. Next clap, y'all. No, but we here to real talk, right? We're not going to sugarcoat anything.
No.
It's necessary.
Very necessary.
To be real.
Yes.
Because if we're not real, we can't grow.
No. I'm going to use a personal example in terms of difficult discussion or difficult situation or difficult topic. Firstly, you have to come to that place, especially if who you may have either hurt or offended in some way. If the relationship means a lot to you, you have to reach to that place where you know what, you cannot be pretending that everything's okay, because that can also bring in another aspect to now add friction in the relationship.
Yeah.
So you have to reach to that place to address it. It must be addressed. Either you call or you text or whatever means you would
people like using the word confrontation.
confront it.
And nobody likes that word confrontation.
No, but confrontation can come out very not so pleasant. Depends on what you're confronting on, and especially if you're confronting with all these emotions and all these anger and so many different things can come with confrontation. So I agree with you, and I would do this also in terms of nothing wrong in chatting with somebody before you meet the person. That's
now somebody that is mature and that will call you out, sir, and hold you accountable. That is very important, because we have some. I'm sure we all have people in our circle who, they'll just give us a listening air and they'll gas us up and they'll be like, yeah, you're right, and whatever.
No,
but
that's not healthy.
That's not what. That's not always what we need.
No.
That's not always healthy either.
No, it's not. So, and apologizing. I started with an apology, explained why I got so upset. Now this happened, and we're dealing with family now, because of course you would have different conflicts, whether it's at church, at work, one-on-one, husband and wife relationship, etc.
Yes.
But this was family, so I really had to. I took a drive first. Yes, no, I did. I took a drive first, and I called them and let them know, okay, I'm coming back. And I didn't want. That is something that you cannot leave for the next day. Especially, it was really not nice. I really got really upset. So I had to address it and apologize, and then give them a chance also to share with me what I did and how it made them feel.
And hearing that part of it is not just apologizing, but really confronting. Hey, all right, I did this. And taking the responsibility for it. That's what you did in that moment.
Yeah,
taking responsibility.
I had to.
Owning, hey, I messed up. Guess what? We all mess up at times. But I mean, hearing how you would have negatively impacted a person is hard to hear.
Yeah. It hurt. When they started to speak, it hurt. And with a good cry, and there's nothing wrong to cry, with a good cry afterwards, I was like, you know what? I understand what they said. I also understand what I did.
Yeah.
Because sometimes we do things and we're not fully understanding what we're doing to the other person. So hearing it from their side, it took a lot of, just swallowing and just listening. I had to now be on the other side to actively listen and not respond to what they were saying to me.
Because sometimes people are explaining things to us. Hey, they're at a place they're ready to open up, and we're like, but you did XYZ 10 years ago, and that's why I am responding in this way. Or you said XYZ. And so obviously, yes, we have triggers. There are things we know. And we always, sometimes we get caught in the whole thing of, again, explaining. But listen,
Listen. So, and that was one of my teachable moments, which I welcomed. So I grew with that, and then I was like, okay, so understanding the triggers is also important as you.
Yeah.
I'm really loving that, because there was this video that I looked at with Sarah Jakes Roberts, where she spoke about her triggers and what would have started and where it came from and how she had to deal with it. And she also shared where, she felt as though God was taking her back to a place that she didn't want to go, but he said, I have to take you back there to heal and then bring you back. So the triggers are important. Understanding the triggers are important. So
and the root cause of it. And
so,
yes, going back is necessary.
It is necessary
to heal. Something just popped into my thoughts, and in terms of triggers, being aware of it. I think it's important for persons that are close to us. Let's just say a spouse. He has to be aware. Let's have those conversations. What's the trigger, right? Yeah. But here's what we are not doing, guys. We are not sharing our triggers for people to make adjustments to accommodate those triggers.
Right.
We're sharing them so that they can hold us accountable. That looks very different.
It does.
We're not about to live life in an unhealthy way.
No.
Awareness is not an excuse for us to continue in this space
doing the same thing over.
And I feel like culture teaches us that a lot. What's my trigger? Like, and we trauma bonded, because you sharing your trigger, I sharing my trigger, and all we talking about is triggers. And I mean, that's just one of the things, just an example. But we need to move to the place of healing,
exactly,
and doing the hard, messy work. that's required to heal.
It does take work.
Yeah.
It does. But
And it don't feel good.
no, but give yourself time. Give yourself time. Don't be so hard on yourself that, you give yourself like a time span. By the end of this month, I have to get over this. Now doing that might be okay to a point, but remember, we continue to grow. We are work in progress, and we may not get it right all the time, but if you happen to do the same thing again, but growth will be where you now take this into a place where, oh, shucks, no, and I shouldn't have done that. You now be accountable, and then you go again.
Yeah.
You go again. So
It's about taking the next step.
yeah.
Not necessary. Yes, we have a goal in mind, like you want to get over, but honestly, I feel like that is sometimes a lot to process mentally. Like, I just want to get to this place, but it's going to take some time. It's going to take some doing to get to that place. And thinking the big picture sometimes could be a lot.
Could be a lot.
It is a lot for me.
Yeah.
So what I like to think about is just the next step.
Yeah.
That's all I'm trying to do.
Yeah.
Today, I'm just trying to make one
Step
one
at a
small
time.
step, and
Yeah.
over time it adds up.
It does. One of the things as well is that, understanding that the grace of God is really, wow, what will we be without the grace of God?
Yeah.
In terms of time, when we get over, how we deal with things and so on. Be patient with yourself to grow, because sometimes the triggers come from so far and so deep. It takes a longer time too. But be willing. Once you are willing and you acknowledge to God, I have said, God, I really need help in this area. And He helps.
Yeah,
He really does. No, He really does. And I have seen where, this is not too bad. And I now myself don't even condemn myself or feel too bad about it. But I'm understanding that, what, Dee? You're a work in progress, but you have now made a decision to say, you know what, I no longer want this type of behavior to remain, because there are some things just can't.
Yeah.
To take you into the next step, to the next level or whatever, there are some things that just cannot stay with you. So you now have to reach to a place to say, okay, I'm okay with, I ain't get it right this time, but God, you know what, let's go again. Yeah, I run back to Him a lot and tell Him, I say, I messed up today, but let's do it again tomorrow.
Yeah, absolutely. But we're going to go to another short break. When we come back, we wrap up this discussion. Don't go anywhere.
People them are dying, so much of them are gone astray. Cause not for time them are neglecting the what them are call elevate. So love thy neighbor as thyself, it's a commandment from the King. Yeah. So put on the knife and the gun chain, and listen to what you hear me I sing. Why don't you try it out?
It's Total Local Tuesday on Isaac.
Woman of Promise is back. The Grand Reset with our new host, Renata Singh.
Hey, it's your girl Renata, and you can join me and my special guests every Tuesday from 12:15 to 1 p.m. as we touch on issues that impact women of all ages, from knowing your worth and identity in Christ, fostering godly relationships, beauty, fashion, maintaining a healthy lifestyle, and more. And of course, we bring a biblical perspective to every discussion.
It's Woman of Promise, the Grand Reset, every Tuesday from 12:15 to 1 p.m. on Isaac 98.1 FM. Sponsored by Furniture Plus.
Welcome back to Women of Promise. We're talking about healthy communication. I'm with Denise Hernandez, and we're just about to wrap up this conversation.
Turn big purchases into small payments with Furniture Plus credit plans. Pay just $1 down and 0 installments for 90 days. Retirees, self-employed, and permanent employees can apply. Furnish your home with Furniture Plus credit plans today. Conditions apply.
All right. All right, Denise, we're wrapping up this conversation. I have, our personalities kind of inform the way that we communicate. So extroverts talk a lot. Introverts are usually a little bit more reserved. But one of the things that I always share with persons is introverts practice speaking with clarity.
Yes.
And extroverts practice listening. Those are very important parts because I feel like introverts are very good listeners.
They are.
Generally. And extroverts are very good at talking and bringing a point across. But there are weak points in our communication styles that we can address with some sort of intentionality. So that's just a starting point. I thought I would just share that. But as we wrap up, for women listening, what or how rather can women become better communicators?
We need to first understand each other that firstly we are all different. We are women and we can be very influential. Let us respect the differences in another person and also being better communicators. When we speak, we do not speak with there's powerful and then there's dominant. Or there's that where you're speaking to, how I want to say this, speaking enough from a place to understand again that, you know what, Renata is different to me. I have something to communicate and share with her. When I speak with Renata, Renata would now listen to me and Renata will respond. How would Renata respond? Maybe she might agree, maybe she may not agree. So for us too, we need to understand, and our personalities can be so strong. You spoke about introvert, extrovert. And extroverts can come across so powerful at times, even...
You would say powerful, I would say raw.
I was trying to be nice.
That's me being nice.
No, you are not. But I'm just saying, because with the extrovert, remember, you're out there and you're bold and you come across on something.
Which is a good quality.
It's good, but there is always the balance because
Absolutely.
not everybody is an extrovert like you. So how do you now deal with an introvert? So you cannot now communicate the same way somebody who have the same like-mindedness. So you now have to understand the differences in people.
And make adjustments.
Making adjustments comes with growth as well because you're like, so why do I have to? Yes, because we are all different.
So like in a professional setting, let's just say that you're a supervisor, for example, and you have employees that you're responsible for and you have to correct employees, just saying, right? You won't do it the same, or you shouldn't do it the same for everyone.
That's right.
Because everyone receives information differently. It's the same way, I think a couple programs back you were sharing in the home setting with your kids.
That's right, different personalities.
Yeah, different personalities. So the way you would speak to one child is not the way you would speak to another child. Same message, same point you're bringing across, but the delivery looks different.
And in an employee setting, there's also getting to know your employees as well. People, and yes, I'm working for you, I'm working with you.
It's not robots.
It's not.
It's humans
so we
you're
have.
dealing with.
Yes, we do, and we have been told in different workplaces, you don't bring your problems to the job. So how do you now leave that at the door and come in, and maybe I might still be feeling a particular way, and you may ask me something and I may not respond offensively, but I may give you maybe, a kind of response that, what happened to her today or what happened to him today? Ask a question. Don't make assumptions. Please ask a question.
That's a really good point.
Take the time to, not everybody people have trust issues as well. So people may not want to openly share everything, but they may just tell I'm really having a bad day, or I'm having whatever it is. But take time and ask a question, and please don't run with the assumptions, because assumptions, these things all add to what's already may not be in a healthy setting. So we need to understand each other, saying learning each other, people might say, so why do I have to take the time to? Yeah, we're not saying learning that you probably to somebody you may not have a relationship with every day, but once we're in the same space or under the
Yes.
same building or whatever, I'll have to take some time because there are things you would pick up on, she's really quiet, or this one speaks a lot, or you understand differences over a period of time. So it comes with growth.
Yeah.
But we need to be also understand who we are and what we might be bringing to the table when we are communicating to other people as well.
Yes.
Yeah.
So awareness.
Yes. Oh wait, that's right. Yeah.
Probably ask a friend.
Ask a-
Ask a friend. How is it to be on the other end of me communicating?
That's a good thing.
Yeah.
No, I'm loving that because what it is they're asking, but tell me how I am.
Yeah. I mean.
No, I mean, tell me how I am, but as I said before.
And then when you ask a question, listen. Let the
Yeah.
person talk.
Let them
right?
talk.
At that point, please do not go down the road of explaining, oh, well, I am that way because of X, Y, Z. Ask the question, be open to listening and hearing the feedback. And if there's something you're kind of like, oh, that's how I am, yeah maybe, do the hard work, make adjustments where necessary. One thing I would like to add in terms of women becoming better communicators, I think a lot of times we hear the saying, women are so emotional, and I feel like that is one of our strengths, emotional intelligence.
Yeah.
But there is a healthy way to communicate with
Those
emotional
emotions, that's
intelligence and not with emotion. It's two different things. And so that's why I said, because we all can be emotional in our communication, and then you're going down this kind of road, which is what we don't want.
Well,
That could easily spiral, right?
In
And so
an unhealthy
processing
way,
in a healthy space with someone that's mature enough, like I would say, to call you out if you're going down a kind of road.
Yeah.
But definitely, again, I wouldn't just outright say, oh, women are emotional. Yes, we are. But I think we are emotionally intelligent.
Yeah.
So we want to communicate on that end with emotional intelligence, which is our strength,
Yeah.
and not emotionally. Right?
And knowing how to use that strength.
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah, knowing how to use it because you have she's real strong. She's a strong woman. She's a strong person, and oh my God, and sometimes they to themselves becoming strong took time.
Yeah.
Becoming strong took some effort, and you came from a place of maybe being misunderstood and not having a voice and all of that. So sometimes let us not also make assumptions of why a person might be so strong, but accountability, again, you have to now understand maybe how forceful or how powerful you might be coming across, and you might be met with some measure of resistance and pullback and be like, because they're not accustomed to that. So there are differences. We need to understand the differences in each other,
Absolutely.
respect it, and then you can now learn to communicate with each person,
in
different
different
settings, in different
Yeah,
ways.
but Denise, thank you so much for
You're
joining me.
welcome.
This was such a lovely discussion.
You're
Guys, I'll catch you next week, Tuesday. Same time, same place. Until then, take care.
And this was there. This was
Woman of
this-
Promise
yeah.
is
This was
back.
always what
The
it was.
Grand Reset with our new host, Renata Singh.
Hey, it's your girl Renata, and you can join me and my special guests every Tuesday from 12:15 to 1 p.m. as we touch on issues that impact women of all ages, from knowing your worth and identity in Christ, fostering godly relationships, beauty, fashion, maintaining a healthy lifestyle, and more. And of course, we bring a biblical perspective to every discussion.
It's Woman of Promise, the Grand Reset, every Tuesday from 12:15 to 1 p.m. on Isaac 98.1 FM. Sponsored by